Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm making this video to kind of show off, I think, the differences and my experience in using the latest iPhone, the iPhone 13, for I guess 4 months now. I've been an Android user since the very first phone that I bought, which was, I think, the Moto G, right? That was my very first phone, which I bought back in college, like I think 8 years ago now, 8-9 years ago, right? When I just got into college, and that was like the Moto G1. And I've been an Android user since then, pretty much throughout, and I've never really used an iPhone until now. I'm here in the US, and here in the US, most people have iPhones, so I figured, why not jump into the same boat? So I bought one. I know that for most people who use Android or who are using Android phones which are not flagship phones, you feel as if the iPhone is like the cream of the crop, right? It's super expensive, it's super sexy, it has the best specs that anyone can offer, and like all the rich people use the iPhone, right? That's probably your impression. I'll tell you, I won't really comment too much about that, about whether the iPhone is a status symbol or not. The first thing I think I'd like to say is that when my first impression of the iPhone was actually that it was a lot smaller than I thought it would be, right? Keeping in mind that Android phones are a lot cheaper than iPhones in general, you usually get a bigger screen and like a bigger phone in general when you buy an Android phone versus an iPhone for the same price. So in my case, I was switching back from a OnePlus 6T, which was my previous phone. If any of you remember that phone, it came out like, I'd say 3-4 years ago. It came out, and it was like a bomb when it dropped. It was like super hot, flagship killer. It was pretty much flagship, not even flagship killer. I would say it was flagship, and it was like the best phone when it came out, right? So I'll try and compare the OnePlus 13, which I have now, to my memory of the best version of the OnePlus 6T when I had it, or like when I first bought it. So you guys are able to see an unbiased experience between the different operating systems, right? So first of all, so as I said, the iPhone is a lot smaller than you would think it is, unless you buy the Pro Max of whatever version you're buying, in which case you're paying like an absurd amount of money for a phone. But I just bought the normal one, and it is a lot smaller than I thought it would be. I'll put the exact measurements of the phone on the screen somewhere versus the OnePlus 6T. I think that the biggest difference between the iPhone and let's say a flagship Android phone is probably it is definitely in terms of the software, right? When you use a latest Android phone, like a flagship Android phone, your experience is that you have this sort of feeling that you have a device in your hand which is extremely responsive, super fast, can open any app instantly, and you're essentially like holding a very very fast computer in your hand. That's kind of the experience of holding a flagship Android phone. That whatever you throw at it, it'll just crush the task, right? It's just super super fast. And I'm pretty much sure that most of you watching this video have Android phones. I'm not gonna lie. That's not a flex or anything. I'm just assuming that is the case. So I'm not gonna elaborate on what using an Android phone is like. I'm pretty sure you already know it. I'm here mostly to talk about how it's different from the iPhone, or like what makes the iPhone, right? The experience. When you open an app on the iPhone, the animations are smooth. There's like a smooth opening and the smooth closing of the apps. You can like shift apps if you want to, type stuff, like whatever. The experience of using apps on the iPhone is more of, it's a very like constant sort of performance. It's smooth. It's not super fast. It's smooth, but the speed at which but it's extremely consistent. Like you could have every app on your phone open at the same time, and your phone would still not lag. Right? I've done it. Like literally today morning, I probably closed 50 apps on my phone. I haven't closed any apps on my phone since a month, probably more than a month from now. And I just closed all of them. One app was like glitching; it wasn't opening, so I figured, maybe just close the background apps. And there's like 50 plus, maybe 60 apps running in the background, maybe 100, I don't know. And I just like close all of them up, and so it kind of makes you wonder that phone is able to even run with that many apps on the background, where I'm sure if you had an Android phone, you probably would start to experience lag at that level of like app consumption. Alright, so the iPhone's performance is mostly, I would say it's very consistent. You end up with this sort of feeling that when you eventually do open the phone, you will be able to do whatever it is that you want to do without any problems, right? And it doesn't matter if your app opens instantly or if your app opens a little late. Like it will open, and it will open just as it has always opened, and your phone will run just fine, right? And it kind of, I think, goes into the way the OS, like iOS itself, is designed for the phone. Like for example, if you had an Android phone, right? So you can play around with the sliders a little bit. You could, if you scroll down, you have like a top bar with the Wi-Fi symbol, the mobile data symbol, airplane mode, all of that, right? You could mix and match that stuff to have your 6 favorite icons over there. You could change the theme, you could change icon packs, you could change the way the symbols look on the top of your screen, and you could change a bunch of stuff. And at the end of the day, it kind of makes you feel like you have a very powerful computer in your hands, and you're just customizing it to a level, and you can make it look exactly the way you want it to, which is a pretty cool thing, right? Which is nice. But also, you are concerned about how the different things that you do and the different apps that you install on the phone affect the speed and affect the performance of the phone. So every Android user in history has known that 3+ years of use on your phone, and your phone eventually goes to shit, right? apps begin to slow down. You begin to prioritize what apps you need, what apps you don't need, and you're cleaning up your memory, doing this, doing that, right? You're trying to make sure your phone runs at the best performance that it can. But it's like if you owned an iPhone, like that whole thing like doesn't exist, right? The software is designed in such a way that even if your memory is full and you have too many photos and videos and you have too many apps, your phone just won't slow down. You will feel no difference whether you had that many things or whether you didn't. It will feel like a new phone. I'm not saying that the iPhone like does not have any bugs, right? Every software has bugs. Eventually, very very rarely, but eventually you do see some things in the iPhone which begin to you're like and that's what's happening there. But it's very rare and it's very in between. So like you have this like sense of like extreme reliability where you just know that the phone will work. Like you don't care if it will work or under what conditions it'll work, or maybe this or that. And like for example, if you turned off the Wi-Fi toggle on an Android phone, you're eventually gonna have to turn it back on, right? When you want to access the internet, right? If you turn off the Wi-Fi toggle on an iPhone, the toggle does not turn off completely. The toggle will turn off for either 1 hour or 1 day. You can choose it in like a setting, and then it will turn itself back on again, because it knows that you don't want to turn Wi-Fi off completely. Like nobody wants that. You just probably don't want to use Wi-Fi in this one particular situation, so it will save you from it, and then eventually like turn back on, which is really cool. I think from your point of view, you're basically like given like a feeling that no matter what you do, like your phone's gonna ace it. Like your phone has an awesome display, an awesome camera. My phone has an awesome battery life, the iPhone 13. It has like more than a day of battery life, so I charge my phone like every other day and I use it like pretty frequently. Amazing speakers, like dead ass. My phone, this is like a bold statement, but my phone might have speakers as good as, if not better than, my MacBook Pro. Like dead ass. Like the iPhone 13 speakers, the entire line are on another level. Like just the raw speakers are of another level entirely. It gives you like the feeling that you have everything like you could possibly want in a phone, that I think on some level like you stop caring about the specs anymore. You're like, why do I care if my phone has 4 GB RAM or 8 GB RAM if my phone can already do everything? Like, you know what I mean? Like when you use this, you cannot like possibly think of anything better, simply because the OS has been designed to cater to the needs of people. Where in Android you've basically been given sort of like a blank template from which you start. I mean, template with the OS of the phone company you're using, and then you can customize and do whatever you want with it. With Android, there has been years, if not decades of effort put into the UI experience and the software experience, from the groundwork of the phone to make it the easiest thing to use for the consumer. Like it fits your requirements for a phone so perfectly that you just stop caring about other phones. It met all my needs for a phone. My previous one was like super slow. The phone I'm actually recording on right now, it was like super slow, and I wanted like something better. So I bought it, and I think 4 months in, I can really begin to appreciate the software of of this phone. I'm not gonna like go into like every detail. I'll tell you the exact differences in software between the two phones. That's not like what this video is about. It's more about like just the difference in like the user experience. And so in a nutshell, like if you have watched this far, an Android phone is basically, it's a very powerful device. It's a very powerful computer that you've been given in the palm of your hand, and you can tweak it and customize it in exactly the way you want to, and you could turn it into like a cyberpunk themed phone, or you could turn it into anything really. There are hundreds of launchers out there, and you could make the phone look exactly the way you want and tweak it and like all of that stuff, right? It'll be a personal assistant. But when you have an iPhone is like, it's like the phone. Like it was what a phone was meant to be, right? Like when you have an iPhone, the software makes you feel like why would you bother customizing like any of that? Like you've been given a device that is like damn well near perfect in essence, and like it just does everything like so well that you stop caring about what's inside the phone, and the phone like just meets your needs, and it's brilliant, it's perfect, and you stop worrying about like all the nitty-gritty, all the small details inside of it, right? And you're like, yeah, it's like I have a phone, it does everything. I mean, like like there is like no discussion to be had about like whose phone is better or like whose phone is worse, because I have like the optimal like the phone, like it's like nothing could be improved, and hence there is no discussion to be had on like whose phone is better. Like the experience has already been customized to like meet like everything that you need, and it's kind of awesome actually. So yeah, I mean that's kind of it. That's kind of my like those are like my thoughts on it. I will like concede on one point. I think I will say that like one like one part of the Android software is better than that in case of iPhone, and that is notifications, right? In my experience, the drop down the notifications bar, or the clumping together, or the organizing of notifications which you get on an Android phone is very convenient. It's very easy. You can see exactly what it is you want to see and reply and like stuff like that. It's very nice. That is something unfortunately which is missing on the iPhone. Like notifications on the iPhone like somewhat come up as like separate bubbles, and you could group them according to app or by something else and customize them, but it does not give you like that satisfaction of just being able to scroll down and like just see stuff, right? It's not that great. In essence, notifications in an iPhone are more like reminders that hey, something happened. It's like a bubble saying something happened here, check that out or whatever, instead of like an actual interactable piece of software like in Android, where you can like do a lot of things from the notification itself without having to actually open the app. So that is something which is regrettably missing from the iPhone. So yeah, that's been it. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hey do, have a great day. Bye for now.